As of November 2023, there are a total of 8 power-ups, or what I like to call them gadgets. There's the Banana Forker, Bandolier, Cupgrade, Impossible Tape, Juice Blender, Claw Boots, Ninja Booties, and finally the Snorkel. And aside from some minor tweaks, I would say they are also in a relatively good place in terms of balancing. Although for one of you, the darkest pit of hell has opened to swallow you whole.
So don't keep the devil waiting.
However, I definitely feel like they are two-dimensional. At a certain level, most players gravitate to a power-up that suits their preference and use it for the entirety of the game, since there's not really a good reason to use another power-up once you find the one you like using. The more I play the game, the more I wish there was more power, more of a reason to choose a gadget aside from preference. I know that doesn't make too much sense, so let me try with an example. You are currently in a fight with almost no time to tape, at least not enough to tape you to full since you already have ninja booties. And now, let's say you knock a guy and they have the impossible tape power-up. The obvious option is to switch power-ups, tape up, and get back into the fight faster. Aside from scenarios like this, there really is no other reason to switch power-ups once you already find the one you like using. Moreover, I guarantee that most of you would just switch back to the ninja booties anyways. The result is not only a playstyle that you're essentially bound to stick to, but also sad little lonely gadgets on the floor, never to be touched again. So today, I want to talk about an idea that was inspired by Twitch streamer Popcorn the Beaver that could hopefully change the way we both see and use gadgets, which is gadget fusion. Being able to fuse and unfuse gadgets, in my opinion, would not only make the game feel fresh and new, but add an entirely new layer to gameplay that could be the thing this game needs. In this video, I'll be going over basic ideas of how this process could work, some sample fusion gadgets, and finally why this would be a fun gimmick. So anyways, let's get started. The idea of fusing gadgets is pretty self-explanatory. Combine 2 gadgets and then you have a brand new one. However, it wouldn't be right to just have the buffs from both. The only way to make this idea viable is to have a trade-off of some kind. Obviously, the trade-off would change depending on the power-up combo, but some that I have in mind are either nerfing one aspect of the power-up or even completely taking it away to make something new. For instance, let's say you fuse a blender and a cupgrade together. A possible trade-off it can have is to have the abilities of both the blender and cupgrade, but it heals slightly slower. Another possible trade-off using the same combo perhaps could be doubling the amount of health you get from foraging and slightly decreasing the amount of extra health you can carry. In terms of how the concept would work, I originally thought a crafting station of some kind, but thinking about the pacing of the game, I completely scrapped the idea. Instead, what I think would work better is to be able to fuse and unfuse whenever and however the player wants to. One way this could work is to be near another power-up while already having one, opening your inventory and then interacting with it. To drop and defuse a certain power-up, holding your cursor over the fused item then selecting it would be, in my opinion, a good and easy way to implement this concept. The main reason why I want this process to be as fast and easy as possible is to not only prevent the gameplay from becoming significantly slower, but also to make the gameplay slightly faster and even more chaotic, rewarding people that are able to think on their feet in any given situation. For instance, let's refer back to the past example at the beginning of the video and add a little bit more to the situation. Now let's say it's a very small ring slowly closing. Now let's add a snorkel in the mix of power-ups on the floor as well. For the sake of this example, let's just say fusing power-ups combines the buffs of both gadgets without any trade-offs. Finally, let's add one more team. Now, in this situation, what would you do? Currently, I see 2 options. The first one being fusing with the eye tape to tape to full faster, but risking the chance of people pushing you. The other option would be to grab the snorkel. Keep in mind that this combo would technically increase your max movement speed by 40%, allowing you to be a lot more aggressive in the closing gas. Now let's discuss the trade-offs of each situation. For the first one, while you are able to tape and heal to full faster, the lack of good positioning could be detrimental, essentially negating all of the healing you just did. On the other hand, while you can be more aggressive, the snorkel and ninja booties combo leaves you a lot more exposed. Alright, I ran out of storage, deleted Apex, and gained 30 more fucking gigabytes of space, so let's get this going. Personally, I would say there's no one right answer to this question for 2 main reasons. 1, everyone has different playstyles. Perhaps your movement and aim is cracked, so you decide to fuse with the snorkel. On the other hand, maybe you want to play it safe and more methodically and wait for the possibility for a third party, making you want to choose the impossible tape instead of the snorkel. The second reason being the other factors that I purposely left out in this example. How many teams are actually left? What are their weapons? Their power-ups? Their throwables? There are really too many variables to have really one correct answer. I really hope this example really shows how much the game would change for the better given this simple concept. It would give players more options for power-ups and rewards people of all playstyles. It rewards players that are able to think on their feet and make fast, decisive actions. It also rewards more methodical players that think bigger picture and strike at the perfect moment. Now enough yapping, let's move on to a more interesting part of the video. Power-up fusing ideas. For my sanity's sake, just a heads up, I won't be giving specific values, only vaguely saying an amount I would increase or decrease given the base buffs each power-up gives you. One I think old heads would especially like would be fusing the Cupgrade and Snorkel, which would be an awesome One I think old heads will especially like would be fusing the Cupgrade and Snorkel, which would be an awesome way to reintroduce the Skunk Gas Vial. Is that how you say it? Skunk Gas Vial. Yeah, that's how you say it. It's just such a weird word to say. Skunk Gas Vial. I want to say viral, but I digress. For this combo, I would say increase the damage reduction in gas, slightly decrease the movement speed buff in gas, and significantly decrease the healing speed buff. I also like the idea that hitting people with the old gas vial did 30 poison damage per melee given the nature of the power-up. So what I would also do is add that again, but this time it would go completely through armor. Another example that would be a good concept is the one I hinted earlier in this video, a Cupgrade and Blender fusion. I really feel like a cool sprite for this fuse would be a health juice protein shake of some kind, but I digress. For this fuse, I would decrease the healing speed, increase the amount of health you are able to hold, and maybe increase the amount of health you are able to get from forged items. What I would really like to see is an eye tape and Cupgrade fusion. In my opinion, a cool sprite for this one would be first aid bandages or like a band-aid of some kind. However, this fuse would not just be a combination of two power-up buffs, but a completely new idea. Being able to heal and tape at the same time. Now, hold your horses, hold on, I already hear the comments. I was going to say a good trade-off would be the change of tape and healing speeds. Maybe change the tape speed from 3 seconds to 4.5 and healing from 9.5 health per second to, let's say, 12 to 14 health per second. This example also introduces a new concept to this idea, a complete overhaul in abilities when fusing. Another fusion that could introduce this concept would be fusing the ninja booties and bandolier together, maybe making the sprite a tactical suit of some kind. For this combo, I would significantly decrease the movement speed buff, slightly decrease the amount you are able to carry. However, what you would get is an increase of reload speed of weapons and significantly decrease the sound of reloading, crouch walking, healing, and taping. This would also play on the idea that you would be louder when carrying more stuff, but more tactical when doing more combat-orientated actions. Now, some of you may be thinking, these are just nerfing power-ups that really didn't need to be changed in the first place. And to that I say, yes, exactly. Let's take a look at the Cupgrade and eye tape fusion I mentioned earlier. While yes, the idea of tape and healing at the same time sounds fantastic on paper, your overall tape and healing speed will drop significantly. If you don't need or want that combo given your situation, you simply wouldn't fuse them together in the first place, keeping either the Cupgrade or eye tape's base buffs. This also introduces another layer to this concept. Would it even be a good idea to fuse in the first place given your current situation? Weighing the trade-offs of fusing or not fusing a power-up with one you already have would add such a cool and intriguing layer to the game that I think many players may not realize until this concept is actually added. Finally, finish off this video, I thought it'd be a cool idea to showcase a conversation I had with Popcorn about this topic. So here you go. May I ask, why do you think this would be a good idea here?
Regarding why I think it'd be a good idea, I think for what it is that when it comes to abilities, yeah, they're always fun, but I guess the game in general, the loop is pretty stale. I've been here for 3.5 years. I keep playing. I enjoy the game. However, I feel like adding on an additional factor that is still within the realm of possibilities, because dualies do exist, would be a nice touch. It would be a nice way of adding on stuff to the game.
I honestly, in my opinion, I definitely feel like a fusing system would not only be somewhat easy to make, but also would just would be enough content for players for a whole season or two, in my opinion.
Oh yeah.
In my opinion.
I guess for starters, the base concept that I originally had thought was just, you find your ability. Let's say you find your claw boots. You find another claw boot. And then while you have a claw boots and you find another one, you press E on them, and just like dual pistols, they merge, except instead of getting 2 claw boots, you get upgrade version, maybe like, I don't know, like a rideable lawnmower or something. Like that's obviously way too absurd, but the concept is like it's basically just like a upgraded slash reworked version of the claw boots. Like instead of just, you know, cutting grass and like doing stuff, it might make it so that the grass you cut gives more loot. You might be able to even move faster on ice and in water. Like, it just small upgrades that doesn't make it OP, but makes it clearly an upgrade, right? So it's like, because dual pistols, they're strong, but they're not overpowered.
If I might remember correctly, it's like a very, very, very slight reload decrease or increase, and then like plus 10 ammo. That's like essentially what I'm getting at.
Yeah, it's like you go from like pistol as 1 second reload, fair recoil gap width, and 10 bullets to 20 bullets, about 0.3 seconds more of a reload, and a very, very slight increase in the recoil gap width. Now, the abilities don't need to have like downsides added onto them. I feel like it could be interesting if they did, but I feel like for some you just need clean, simple adds and buffs, like just stuff like slapped on it or stuff increases to it.
But anyways, guys, that's the end of the video. As per usual, I'll leave some clips of some audio. Enjoy. Yes! Oh my god, that was a fun fucking W. Oh my god. Feet Finder is crazy. Hey, have you been on Feet Finder? Those are some nice looking feet. I'll be honest, those guys put a lot of effort in making their feet clean, okay? Those guys put a lot of effort in making their feet clean. I have not. I will say, I'm not, okay. I'm not into feet, but those feet on Feet Finder, kudos to them. I could never. They put a lot of effort in making their feet clean and presentable. The fucking feet, it's like the bottom of your body, and they make it look so good, okay? I'm not into feet! What the fuck's this kid doing? Alright, cool. So basically their first mistake was, I don't know what their positioning was. Their positioning was really bad. I don't know, Ashley was just terrible. But yeah, that's what they get for laughing at me. Slammed! 3, 2, 1, seeing one now. Someone's got a sniper. I hit someone twice. That's fine. 98. He's one. Oh, shit. Mom, get the camera! Ah! Oh, hi. What the fuck was that? Oh, now he's one shot. Cool. Now he's one shot. He made himself one.